Name is Beatris Mendez Gandica. I go by Bea. And my background, I'm from Venezuela. I went to school in Wisconsin. I got my master's at the University of Arizona. I work at Microsoft as an engineer and program manager. And I focus on the security space. And what I do is I make sure that the code that Microsoft has in product and services is as secure, as compliant as it can be. And I also help out with teaching kids like yourself to make sure that STEM is an option and that you realize that it's not this abstract thing that might not be for you, because it is. So those are my two passions, the security side and helping others and giving back. The great thing about security is that it's always changing. What can be, what's secure today might not be in the next week, in the next hour. And so the fact that it's constantly changing and you have to keep learning and this concept of growth mindset, and instead of being a know-it-all, you're a learn-it-all. I think that's just awesome. And I really love that about security in technology in general. But in security, the thing is like we all care for security because none of you would like that the pictures that you're sending or the message that you're sending go to somebody else. If you have enough text with your BFF or a snap with your BFF and then somebody gets to it, you wouldn't like that. So that's why I think security field it's something cool because we all care about in one way, shape, or another. And also the giving back, it's super important because I want to make sure that in the years to come, we can see more colors of the rainbow in the tech field. It's a program part of NCESD, which is the National Center of Women in IT. And the idea is to have Latina role models to help those Latina teenagers and upcoming grads that are looking to see what the industry is looking like, to have that role model, that somebody else that look like them, that speak like them, that eat like them, eat what they eat. That way you are more confident and you know that you're not alone. And the reason I took into the ambassadorship is I'm a firm believer that you cannot be what you cannot see. And sometimes that's what it takes. For me, it was more if I can convince one girl that's somewhere and she can see herself in my shoes, that to me is great. And for that, you need some sort of exposure. And that's part of what TECHNOLOCHICAS has been a great success is how do we make sure that regardless of where you're located, you can see that it is possible and that you're not alone. If you're into the sciences or not, I think in the next 5 to 10 years, like coding and computer science in general is going to be so ingrained. It's going to be like taking math. And that's something that we go around when we do events on campus is making sure that maybe not every kid's going to be an engineer. And that's okay. If we had a world full of engineers, I don't think it will be as interesting. So how do we make sure that we get to tell the kids, look, this is what coding looks like, but at the same time, let them know, if you don't get this, if this is not for you, no worries, you try. And for me, the trying part and that you actually can see it, that you can do it, and it's not something that's not for you, that to me is already a win. And then it's like, okay, awesome, you don't go into engineering, great, no worries. What career do you want to go into? And whatever that career is, you can still work in tech. You can be a lawyer and still work in tech. You can go into human resources and still work in tech. So that's and as you, if you see the trends that's happening in the industry, and especially with this pandemic that we're living through, everything is moving into tech and we're relying on tech more than anything. So if you can find that way, that intersection between what you're teaching and what tech can do, I think you have a great opportunity. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but if you're okay with that challenge of kid learning and maybe be a little vulnerable with the students, because I'm sure that there might be some students in your classroom that might already know a bunch of things that will be worth sharing with the rest. Just find that passion. And by passion, I mean, what's that something that you can't wait to go and do? That might be playing soccer. That might be playing football. That might be doing something that you really like. So when you can find that something, how can you apply tech to it? If you can try to figure out that tech with what you like, I think you'll have fun. Because if you start, for example, if I think about it and somebody tells me, hey, quantum computing is the next big thing and you have to go into quantum computer. In my head to me, it's like, okay, but let me understand what quantum computing means. and is that something I like? And maybe not, maybe it is, maybe it's not. But if I know that I don't want my pictures to get stolen by somebody else, and I like that feel, what can I do? Maybe it's security. Maybe you're more into privacy, that you're dealing with the data is going from point to point. What is that thing? And I think you have a huge advantage that you have Google. You can Google anything. And so go and check in there and see how you can tie what you like and tech. And be kind to your teachers. They're trying the best. So just make sure that you try to behave as good as you can. If you get a chance, go and sign up and become a TECHNOLOCHICA ambassador. There are a lot of resources, and there's already a community that you can rely on for advice, maybe for mentorship one-on-one, or maybe just a quick question that you might not have that person in your family or your community that might not be necessarily in the field, whichever field it is, and you just want somebody else that you could trust. There's a great opportunity and a great girls all over the country that can help out.